Hello everyone. This video is specifically made for the Alaska airplane flight 1282 victims who are suing Boeing. My name is Daryl Guberman. I am the CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. We've been in business going on 13 years as of August of 2024. Our background is aerospace, medical implants, medical materials, printing, and plastic distribution, where we dealt with every industry under the sun. When I opened up my business in 2011 and 2013, I gave a speech at the American Society for Quality. In 2012, I opened up a registrar to compete against ANSI and ANAB because I figured that independence is what is required in the field of quality so that you have a different set of eyes. As we can see with Boeing, they sit on the board of ANSI, ANAB. They sit on the board that can grant, suspend, and withdraw certification. They also are on the board of directors that guided ANAB, okay? They have it on their supplier portal that must be ANSI, ANAB, or internationally equivalent. And to make matters worse, in 2002, they came out with a supplier bulletin that basically stated, ladies and gentlemen, you can't make this up. They said, send in an AS9100 certificate. That is for aerospace quality, international aerospace quality, AS9100. Send it in as long as it's ANSI, ANAB accredited. Send it in. Send in your parts. And Boeing doesn't have to do an inspection, source inspection at the facility. You don't know whether those parts are made in their backyard, in a swamp, in the Grand Canyon, or up in Antarctica. You don't know. Okay, and these are flight critical parts too. That just send us your certificate as long as it's ANSI, ANAB accredited, AS9100. Send us your cert and send us your parts. I will say this, the title of this video is Attention. Attention, Alaska Airlines injured parties. If it isn't GUBE, you're gonna get screwed. That's my nickname, GUBE, G-U-B-E. My dad used to teach school, high school, and they used to call him GUBE all the time, G-U-B-E-Y or whatever. So to the Alaskan Airlines injured parties, if you don't get GUBE, you're going to get screwed. And I'm going to show you just briefly, you're going to find all the data, all the pertinent data down below this video. You'll find the supplier portal that Boeing has, ANSI ANAB. You'll find out with their supplier bulletin from 2002, send us your cert, AS9100, as long as it's ANSI ANAB accredited, then send us your parts. And then you're going to find out that they also have them listed on their portal, and they also sit on their board as well to grant, suspend, and withdraw certification of registrars that weren't making the cut. And you can see with Boeing, they didn't give a damn because just send us a cert. I've been involved with quality for 40 years, ladies and gentlemen. I have never seen a cert taken away because of lack of quality or poor quality, but lack of payment. And here we go. You have the American National Standards Institute, which is a private, not-for-profit, non-governmental corporation, been around over 100 years, that have both federal agencies and corporations on board. Of course, you have Boeing on board, and you also have the FAA. And ladies and gentlemen of Flight 1282 Alaska Air, they made, the FAA made Boeing a regulator in 2009. So when they talk about the MCAS system on Ethiopian Air and also on Indonesian Air, they didn't have to report anything back to the FAA because they are the FAA. Most recently, the NTSB have asked for, documents which Boeing can't come up with. They've said it. They probably will mysteriously come up sometime somewhere. But they asked them for documentation, the NTSB did. And Boeing said no. The reason why Boeing says no is they're a federal agency. Actually, if you look at David Calhoun back here, when he became the CEO, he actually became the administrator as well. They don't want to tell you this. They're going to poo-poo me. They're going to say, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Just like that. Did you hear that song? He doesn't know what he's going to talk about. Now, let me tell you something. Being involved with quality as long as I have, being involved with composites and non-ferrous metals, aluminum, titanium alloys. I have many diplomas in those specialties, okay? Fasteners, fastening mechanisms, adhesives, rivets, you name it, we did it. RTM, resin transfer molding, that is. Also metal matrix composites. So much, okay, is jammed in here. And we can do a better job than Calhoun, but they're playing around. Most recently, we also heard the Department of Justice, ladies and gentlemen, at Alaska Air 1282 flight. My heart goes out to you because you know something, you may get screwed. If you don't use GUBE, you will get screwed. And I'm going to show you further. You have the Department of Justice, which is investigating Boeing for the door deal, but they sit right over by Boeing. Do you think any justice is going to come of this? Absolutely not. The funniest, too, is you have the FBI. The FBI. Now, mind you this, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to find everything down below, but between 2000, the reason why these numbers are good is because, not really that good, but between 2015 and 21, these organizations watched over by Communist China from their ANSI-ANAB membership, because ANSI-ANAB, okay, sat on the IAF between those years. And those organizations, both federal agencies that sit on there, and also the corporations, got their data taken because the Chinese national who was watching over and got promoted to chairman of the IAF, which is the International Accreditation Forum incorporated in Delaware, which is an organization that has both federal agents, not federal agencies, but international accreditation bodies and national and international accreditation bodies. ANSI-ANAB are underwriters. Do you hear me? Alaska Air individuals, injured parties? They are an underwriter which your attorney should take to task. And I've got the information. I've got more information than what I have sent some of those attorneys that are watching over you at Alaska Air. Yes, I have. So we received this letter, and I'm doing this to really point this out to you, ladies and gentlemen. My heart again goes out to you, Alaska Air 1282. This is an actual letter that we received from an attorney of 40 years. And he said this. He said, nearly everything you see when litigating in any court, federal or state, is an illusion. In the political world, we call it blue smoke and mirrors. And the final part of this puzzle that I'm going to let you in on, my dear citizens and those injured parties at Alaska Air Flight 1282, is this. The American Bar Association, which your attorney must be joined with, is also playing in bed with ANSI, and we have the documents. We don't make this up. We have it all. One thing we have is integrity, honesty, and the truth. And your attorney has to be turned on to this. And remember, if you don't have GUBE, you're going to get screwed. Or as Patrick Shanahan said, and you'll find that down below too, when he was Deputy Secretary of Defense, he was asked, how is the F-35 program? He said, it's fucked up. Well, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Since you want to see my efficacy, you want to see the truthfulness of me, you can look it up. After Lockheed, and it's going to be down below anyway in the description, after their 801st ship, Lockheed Martin is still producing crap, and they sit on ANSI's board. Anything that ANSI touches turns to shit. Why? Because all of these federal agencies and corporations think that they're protected. Protection no more, ladies and gentlemen, because if you don't have GUBE, you're going to get screwed. Or as Patrick Shanahan said, you're going to get fucked.